Morning. Well, we got a nice stretch of weather in January. Today is the 9th, and we got a little bit of groundwork that we really didn't think we were going to get done before the spring. I'd say we probably got about 300 acres worked. Some of it was rutted up pretty bad, so it's really nice to be able to get that done. Now we have a little less stress come the spring. We don't have to worry about those ruts. Dad's been running this machine. I've been running 9410 in the disc ripper. We've just been knocking out as many acres as we can. We got a little bit more to do today. We got some rain coming over the weekend. Pretty good amount of rain is what they're expecting, so we're gonna try and get a little bit more done. First task, I just got to finish up some end rows on this field. Dad didn't want to do them last night in the dark because there's a couple surface drains that run through here, and he didn't want to hook them with the chisel plow. They're not that deep, so you kind of got to watch for them. One more pass on these end rows. You got to take it slow because when you're doing the last pass, it's really rough. After I get this done, I've got one little corner of a field I got to do. I'll just explain it when I get there. Well, here we are. I'm gonna hop out and show you what we've got going on here. So this is the farm that I've got enrolled in that EQIP program to plant cover crops and do more strip till, no-till type situation. Another thing that I've got in the program is what they call pollinator. And what that is it's kind of like CRP, but instead of planting native grasses, you plant flowers and stuff that basically that bees and butterflies and just insects like. Pollinator insects, that's why they call it pollinator. Anyways, but this corner of the field is kind of a mess. There's an old building site. You can see that crib falling down. We got trees. It's hard to explain without like a bird's eye view, but we basically have to farm around this square here and then go around here, and then the field kind of loops around back behind that old building site. So what we're gonna do is square this off with pollinator, and that way we won't have to farm it, because normally it's a little bit wet right here, and then when you get back into that corner, the trees kind of choke out the corn or beans or whatever we've got planted, and we don't really get a crop off of it anyway, and it'll make it not such a hassle to have to plant around. This is a way that I can get a little bit of revenue off of it, and we won't have to farm it and lose the crop every year. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chisel all of this where the pollinator is gonna go and get some bare dirt on top. That way I can come in and frost seed the pollinator when I get it. They said to do it in like February, so what that means is I'll come in here, I'll probably just take a four-wheeler and a little spreader you pull behind it and seed it on top of hopefully a snow cover. And as the snow melts, it brings the seed into the ground, into the bare soil, and it germinates, starts growing. You catch my drift. So, but I need some bare soil on top. If I leave it the way it is, odds are some of those seeds won't grow. So it's kind of tight in this corner. It's really not fun to get a combine back in here, or planter, or anything for that matter. So another good reason to put it in pollinator. Also, there's always trees falling down, and they fall on your crops, and then you can't get them. So there's just a lot of benefits to doing it this way. Another problem in this corner is the deer like to hang out and they trample the corn down. So it's really one of those things, like, why have we been farming this for so long? Because we've never ever got a crop off of this corner. Now we've got a little different option, and it makes it kind of nice. Well, I've got that done. While I'm here, I'm going to check out and see how my rye's doing. We had rye flown on this field. I haven't really got a chance to get out and look at it. I looked at the other field, and it's kind of growing, so see what this one looks like. It's actually doing better than I thought it would be. That other field, it was, of course, it was a couple weeks ago. I went out there and it was kind of hard for me to find any rye, but it seems like it's growing pretty good here. This field's going to be no-tilled beans next year, and what we'll do is we'll come in here sometime in the spring and we'll kill this rye off and we'll just plant beans right in it. Alright, that's done. We're going to move on to the next field. This next one, there's 89 acres in the field or something like that. And it was rutted up pretty bad with the combine. I don't really know if it's going to be fit, but the only way to find out is to just go try it. So we're going to get in there and see what happens. Alright, here we are. Let's see what happens. This was probably the field that we had the most trouble with picking. It just was, I mean, it was really wet. We finished it up, I think, on that last day of harvest video. But Dylan was having trouble in the auger cart. We could only go in certain spots of the field. We were just cutting ruts. I ended up having to put the combine in first gear in a few spots and just let it go as fast as it could, because in second gear, it was slipping so bad that I was afraid I was going to break something or hurt the hydro or something. So it was a struggle. Hopefully we can get these ruts filled in. Now, everywhere else that we had ruts, it really surprised me how well I got through them. I think that, you know, the tire kind of ripping up the ground a little bit, it just kind of dried it out a little. It got the bare soil up on top. Wow, it is pulling hard here. I think I'm going to have to get a bigger tractor. Yeah, this is not going to work. This is a 13 shank soil saver. It's really oversized for this tractor, but we normally only pull it in the sandier ground. I just thought I'd pull it here because it's going to be soybeans next year. So it's going to do a good enough job, and it's wider than the disc gripper, so I can cover more ground. But this tractor is just having a heck of a time pulling it right now. I think I might have to go get the four-wheeler. Wow. Well, we're going through the ruts now. It's not great, but it's just frozen enough that we're getting through it. I really would do a lot better with a bigger tractor. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this. I'm going to end up breaking something. As much as I want to get these ruts filled in, there's a difference between filling ruts and just making a bigger mess. And I'm afraid I'm just making a bigger mess right now. I think I'm just going to leave it. We'll have to do something with it in the spring. Alright. I'm going to turn around here at the end, head back, and we're going to find something else to do. Well, that didn't work. This is really heavy ground here, and it takes quite a bit to pull tillage through it. Like I've said a million times, we want to switch to no-till, but you can't no-till through ruts, so we got to get these filled in. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out today. We got a big rain coming this weekend. They're saying we could get 2 to 4 inches, so it'll just have to wait till spring, and we'll have to pull a field cultivator or a disc through them. There's just not much we can do about it, so we're going to keep moving forward. Well, we're strip tilling now. It wasn't fit over there to chisel plow, so I decided to come over here and try this. I've been thinking about trying some strip till corn on corn for a while, and I think it's just fit enough I'll be able to do this, so might as well get it done before it rains. I guess I don't have any experience strip tilling, and I really wanted to try corn on corn. We're just going to do 40 acres and see how it goes. So if anybody's got any tips, leave them in the comments. Well, this is actually going a lot better than I thought it would. I was kind of expecting to come in here and it would either be too frozen or too wet, but it's actually working up pretty nice. It's making a nice strip. It's just starting to rain a little bit. I think I've got a little bit more time. I'm probably about half done with this field now. Hopefully I can get this done. I don't know if I'll have time to do anything else before the rain, but we do have some other bean ground that we'd like to strip till. The bean ground might be a little more froze because it doesn't have as much cover. Like the corn stalks kind of insulate the ground, so it's not as froze as it would be if it was bare. So, but yeah, so far so good. Hopefully I can get this done. I found a new bucket. It is extremely windy today. They're saying like 40 to 50 mile per hour wind gusts. This sand hill on the neighbors has been blowing just ever since I've been here. They've actually got rye planted, but I don't think it got big enough to really hold the sand down, so it's kind of interesting. I've got one row that's not making as much of a strip as the rest of them. I'm going to see if I've got something wrong with the knife. Outside row, I can't really tell. It kind of doesn't look like it's got as much of a wing as the rest of them. I don't know if that's the problem. I don't know. I think it'll be all right. I don't know. I can't see anything wrong with it. I'm going to keep going before it starts raining. I guess they'll be alright. Well, I've got one pass left through the field. I got to do these end rows in the back here. And I'll go to the other end, finish those end rows, and that'll knock this field out. I'm not really sure what I want to do next. We've got some other bean stubble that we'd like to strip till. They're fairly good sized fields, so I don't know if I want to get started and then get rained out or just deal with it later. So I'll have to think about it. Well, I got that field done. I had a little bit of trouble on the end rows. It was a little bit wet, and I had some trash kind of bunch up, so I'll probably have to come out here with a loader or a pitchfork or something and spread that trash back out. That way we don't have trouble planting into it next spring. But got that done. I'm gonna go home and eat some lunch and decide what I'm gonna do next. Well, I'm over here at a different field. I decided to come in here and set up my AB line for this. And also I need to, if you see, I've got a bunch of mud on the row units from doing the end rows on that last field. So I wanted to kind of put it in some dry dirt and clean it off a little bit. I probably won't do this whole field. There's water standing in the middle of it, and I don't really want to get started on it and then get rained out and only have some of it done. So I'm just going to do one pass along the edge here, kind of clean the thing up a little bit, get the mud knocked off of it, and probably park it, and that'll be it for the day. This is kind of a heavy farm and it's got some drainage issues, so I wouldn't be able to do the whole thing anyway. See, there's a big pond right there, so obviously wouldn't be able to make it through that, but it would be nice to strip this farm. I think it would do it some good to just kind of get some soil structure built up, and I think that would help with our drainage problems. Well, hello. Anyways, I was gonna say, it's making a really nice strip out here, but unfortunately it's just a little too wet. Not gonna be able to do it. So we got rain coming. I'm gonna go park this thing in the shed, and Dad's gonna give me a ride. I gotta go pick up my truck from the shop. Had some warranty work done. So it's gonna be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.